Greetings, film freaks. We are the Podcorn Kernels. Join us as we discuss the hard and often indigestible truths that are at the center of the fluffy and delicious world of cinema.
What's poppin', people? Welcome to the Podcorn Kernels podcast. My name is Adam, and joining me in your earholes is Harry. Say hello, Harry.
Pot of Philadelphia cream cheese, 1 tablespoon of sweet chili sauce, whip that into a mousse movie dip.
On today's episode, we will be talking about Amelie. This is a 2001 film directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet and stars Audrey Tautou, Macho Kasovitz, and Rufus. IMDb describes the synopsis as follows. Amelie is an innocent and naive girl in Paris with her own sense of justice. She decides to help those around her and along the way discovers love. Here is an original song to support the synopsis.
We're all strangers till you meet us. All our likes and all our loves. Feel the differences between us. Watching you from up above.
Bonjour madame, qu'est-ce qui vous ferait plaisir?
All I want is to find the one soothing shade to my sweltering sun. Help me put the pieces back together. Stay by my side for now and forever.
Let's start with some facts about the film. In 1974, Jean-Pierre Jeunet began collecting the memories and events that make up the story of Amelie.
Cool. In what way?
I have no idea.
He observed people, wrote them down, videoed them, or maybe all of that.
The fact he says collecting memories suggests that just through observations and life experiences, he's sort of collated them, and that made up the structure of the film. That's almost 30 years before the film came out, right?
Well, you can tell that there was effort in that because them little intricacies and oddities he finds in people is so human. I realised that in the first 10 minutes. I was like, this is very clever because he's, a guy who hates the feel of wet trunks as he's getting out the pool. I'm like that.
Yeah.
If I'm getting out of pool, I'm like, oh God, arse crack. It's touching all my fat, and I'm like, no, and it's like, but he loves cleaning his toolbox out and hoovering all the cracks. It's great little intricacies into the human condition.
Yeah, I love that for 30 years through observing others and just learning, almost doing like a research, 30 years body of work to pick up all these little things. And like you say, the likes and dislikes of all the characters in the films, I love to think that they're based on real people that he's observed over
That's
3
cool,
decades.
Yeah. Even if they weren't, they 100% are factual in terms of there are people out there that like to pop bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And there's people out there that hate seeing a man get scorned in front of his children by another man or something. So it's really, that captured me straight away.
Yeah, that's how the film starts, isn't it? Discovering all the little unique likes and dislikes that we all have. And I'm a huge fan that Jeunet spent such a long time, it says here, collecting the memories. So I love the thought of him sitting in a Parisian cafe with a pen and paper and just jotting down what he sees based on just what is in front of him.
Little bit of claret, smoke,
Oh,
just that lovely accordion sound, Paris just opening up. Oh,
it's lovely, isn't it? Whenever this film was shot on location, Jean-Pierre Jeunet and the crew would clean out the area of debris, grime, trash and graffiti so that the real settings would match the fantastic nature of the film. This was an especially difficult task when it came to shoot at the huge train station.
I should imagine. I've been to 2 train stations in Paris, Gare du Nord, Gare de Lyon, and they are quite scary. Like, it's a huge place full of crowds, and there's graffiti, there is rubbish, there's lots of armed police. So I'm not surprised, because the film looks so comic book of Paris, doesn't it? It's almost like Broken Sword. It's like so colourful.
It's romanticised, isn't it? That must be quite the task. So imagine doing a day of shooting and spending ages with the crew and the cast cleaning up. If you didn't get that shot on that day, the place would open to the public again, and you'd have to come back and clean it all up again just so it looks as pretty and as amazing as it does. And it just makes me respect the director even more. 30 years of research and meticulously cleaning the real life locations to make it match his vision for the film. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think the filters as well that he uses are very clever, because he adds like almost a glow, an orange sunlighty look to the whole film. So that sort of, if you caught Paris on a bad day and it was grey and it was a bit of a rundown park and overgrown grass, because he had filters, it has a lovely colour to it regardless. Like, overgrown plant pots look good in this, and like they don't look trashy.
No. Nothing in this film looks trashy, does it?
No.
It's so picturesque. Every scene, every shot looks like a postcard. And the fact that he's gone to these lengths is something I greatly appreciate.
It's like Mama Weasley got let loose in Paris and just made it cosy heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Cookies, gingerbread, coffee.
Oh, that's a great analogy, that.
Soup.
But I've never seen a train station that I thought, oh, this looks nice. Because it's so populated, it's busy all the time. There's always trash, debris, graffiti, dodgy people doing dodgy things at particular times of day. But the way the film represents it, it's all just so picturesque, so nice, and like you say, so cozy.
Yeah, there are. I mean, you have to go quite deep into the country to catch some of them beautiful old school train stations of one platform. A lovely waiting room, very old Victorian building. They are out there, but yeah, not these big city centre ones. So it's kind of cool they captured it. I suppose when early on in the film, when she first sees, is it Nino? Yeah, the guy, isn't it?
The love interest of
the love
Amelie
interest.
in the film,
Yeah, when she first sees Nino, he's on the floor getting rubbish off of a crusty old photo booth, isn't he? So it does show that, I suppose, the overpopulated areas of transportation are a bit more dingier than the little back streets of the cafes and the bars and stuff.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
If train stations looked like it did in Amelie, I'd have no problem using public transport, because it just looks so nice. Even that scene where he's like scrounging for loose ends of photographs underneath the photograph machine. The backdrop and everything else it's just the colours. It's just it's like it's been polished. It's beautiful to look at.
Makes you want to travel.
Oh, 100%, yeah, 100p.
I love Paris.
I've never been.
Paris is great. I mean, once you get past the crowds and stuff outside the train station, or the highlights like Eiffel Tower and the Louvre, you get into them back streets. That's where you'd spend most of your time, like Trastevere in Rome. It's all the hidden little back streets that are popular in their own right, but they're more cultural, I think, than the tourist attractions.
It's always struck me as a bit of a tourist trap, Paris. The same with London, and the same of any major European capital cities. Is that the case?
Yeah, but I think because it's not London, like it's not. So for us, obviously, London's it's 30 minutes away. We know it. We've been going there all our lives, so it's lost its allure. But I mean, you're in a back street of a different city, different language, different culture, country. A mint and soda, a vine, a croque monsieur. Yeah. It sort of changes, doesn't it? Yeah. It's lovely.
Yeah, I've seen this film a few times, and every time it's made me, number one, have itchy feet, and number two, really want to go and experience that Parisian lifestyle.
We should do that. We should just hop on a train and go to Paris for 2 nights and just have a wicked beer up and take it all in, go and see Marshall Ney's grave.
Can we do a Jeunet and sit there with a scrapbook and people watch and observe, and then write stuff, collect memories to make a film in 30 years' time?
Of course.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah, man.
The final fact, Amelie is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die, edited by Steven Schneider.
Schneider!
Do you agree?
C'est magnifique, c'est beau, c'est domptant, c'est intemporel.
What have you just said to me?
It's magnificent, it's beautiful, it's important, it's timeless. Oui.
So, definitely in the 1001 movies you must see before you die.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Top 100?
Yeah. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. It's a study into the human condition and all the little oddities that make each and every one of us
Top 50 films?
Individuals. Possibly.
Top 25 films? I'm just going to keep pushing.
Couldn't say there.
Okay.
don't know. I absolutely loved it. It was so, it's like a breath of fresh air. That was my first watch as well. It's so nice to see this little parcel of Parisian life that evolves around. If you feel isolated and lost, doesn't mean you can't help other people. And it's done through loads of little interesting. Like, I love how she messes with the greengrocer, because the greengrocer's really cruel to the actor Jamal Debbouze. He's the young lad who keeps calling the vegetable, isn't he? Mm-hmm. You know, he lost the use of his arm in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
1995. 1990. He was 15 years old, and he got hit by a train at a train station, 150 miles an hour, lost the use of his arm, and it killed a boy that he was with. And the parents of that boy tried to get him done for manslaughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had that in the fact section.
It's
That's
insane.
a great fact.
It's insane. Well, because I recognised Jamal Debbouze from Days of Glory.
Yeah.
Which was a Moroccan-French World War II film. And I was like, he's got such a familiar face. And then I read about the actor. And the first photo I saw of him is like his right arm is like really malnourished, and it's tiny and it's really thin. And the other one's just a normal arm. That's why in the film, he's just using one arm to do everything. That wasn't just a character thing. He has that in real life.
I had no idea.
It's mad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've touched on some of the points you liked about the film already, but give me some more things you liked about the film.
Wonderful exposition of humankind. It's captured perfectly, especially with the aid of voiceover. I don't know, it's the most romantic language in the world. So when this French man is giving me the exposition through voiceover, the scenes that he sets out in the beginning, in Paris at 11:40, there was a tablecloth, risking trying to get off the table due to the wind, and you just see this lovely image of a backdrop of Paris and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just jumps around. I love how it's showing all these little insights into people, because it's not conventional, this film, in terms of plot.
No.
You don't really know what the intention is until your protagonist, Amelie, starts to get excited at the prospect of this wild goose chase, and like having puzzles for this guy that she becomes intrigued with, and he works at the photo booths, Nino. And because she's got her own crippling anxiety because she wasn't hugged by daddy when she was young, she doesn't know how to interact with people in a conventional way, so she finds her own little niches and little ways of talking to someone without talking to them.
Yeah. I think the narration in films is used so often nowadays that sometimes it feels unnecessary, or sometimes it feels like it's overdone, and it takes away from the story that you're trying to involve yourself with. But certainly in this one, the first thing you see in the film is narration, and it comes at you so quickly, this form of narration where they're talking about the likes and dislikes, that you can't help but get on board with it. They're so unique and individual, these quirks and quips that make up all of us as human beings. That narration really drives it forward.
I agreed with a lot of them as well. I was like, yeah,
me too. Yeah. What else did you like about the film?
There was one particular scene, so it's really, this is hard for me. I could tell you the performances are excellent, cinematography is excellent, the whole film is excellent, but I'm going to go more specific because that's a given. I've already said this. So I love that when she's preparing for bed early on in the film, I think it's like 20 minutes in or something, she's like brushing her teeth or putting perfume on, and she hears that Princess Diana's died. Yeah. And she stops to watch it, like everyone did, and when they heard about it. Yeah. And she stops to watch it, and it's like, oh, it shocked her. Oh, that's interesting. Then she drops the lid of her perfume. Yeah. She follows the lid of her perfume to this old tile in the bathroom, and as tile drops back, there's a little box back there that belonged to a boy 50 years ago. It's got a little toy car in it and stuff. And it's brilliant because immediately she don't give a shit about the Diana thing. No. Because that's impersonal. Yeah. That's about essentially a celebrity she never knew. Why am I going to be devastated by that? I didn't know her behind closed doors or anything, but all of a sudden she's got this box of real life, tangible, personal human being in a box. And straight away, she don't think of Diana again. No. It's even plastered on newspapers later on in the film, and she walks past it because she can't help Diana. No. Diana's dead. She died in a car crash, and she can't help her, but she can help people in her local community.
And that scene sets her on the path, doesn't it?
Essentially, yeah, because she finds the box, and that's where it inspires her to do some good. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to it a little. Like when I was on doing pilgrimage and hiking, I'm middle of nowhere in the Meseta, boiling hot, and I see an iPhone on the floor. It's boiling hot iPhone. It's the battery's gone off because of the heat so bad. I've picked it up, and I just had this little inspiration in me. I thought, I'm going to try and find whose phone this is.
Yeah.
So I've put it in my bag, and I've just started marching for about 3-4 miles. Luckily, as the phone called down, it turned on. The screensaver was of a woman and a young man. I thought maybe mum, son. And I was like, cool, at least I now know what they look like.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've pulled into this town. I haven't seen them. It's been like 2-3 hours. And then I order a beer, I sit down. I'm like, I better just start walking and try and get a bed for the night. I've walked out the bar, turned right, and the woman and her son are sitting there frantically looking through the bag for the phone. Yeah. And I went, you dropped your phone? They went, yeah. And I showed it to them, and I got a big hug and everything, and I was just like, I felt amazing.
Did you charge them?
No, they said, we'll buy you dinner. And I said, no. I said, no, it's fine. But then for the next 7 years, I'll tell that story to get my ego going and make everyone think I'm hero.
That story sounds like a scene straight from this film.
Yeah.
Like if this film was set 10, 15 years later when mobile phones were part of every day, that would fit right into that.
Yeah. And
you felt lovely being able to help.
That's why I think it captured me really early on. This lovely study of human nature, and you know, it's nice sometimes to see the positives in life, especially when you're drowning in shit on BBC on the news and stuff. So it was it was lovely, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, it certainly is a cozy cuddle of a film. And if, like me, you're almost antisocial, anti-people, and when you've seen so much shit, like you say, in the media, and it's all bad news.
It brings you down, doesn't it?
Yeah, seeing a film like this where it just magnifies the good that people do, and at our core we're all good. We all want the best, and life's struggles and experiences can drag us down and lead us down other paths. But yeah, the film is beautiful in doing that. I think it's top tier in that aspect.
Got nominated for best screenplay, I think, and so did and Gosford Park won. I was like, oh,
never even,
because the screenplay of Amelie is excellent. Like I can't even, how clever that film is in terms of, you know, how it lays out that observation of humans, and then obviously how all deep down we do want to be loved, etc. But like, even, you know, there's a mysterious character in Amelie. He's a bald guy. And he's Nino's also interested in him, because Nino collects these little photos from under photo booths where photos have been discarded, and he puts them together in a scrapbook. And he's seen this bald guy like once a month for years with the same photo. And he chases him early on in the film, and Amelie then chases Nino. And Nino drops his book, she picks up the book, and then she's interested in this guy as well. And it turns out, and it's lovely because it reveals it later, I had no idea. It turns out that the bald guy is a repairman for photo books.
It's as simple as that, yeah.
And it's just like, I was like, that's amazing, because that's really clever writing to fit that into an already really beautifully hectic film. Yeah. Really, really great.
Well, the film is magical in so many senses, that you are watching that film and that scene where he's finding these photos, the same photo of this guy, and we're all like, well, who is this guy? What's his story?
Yeah.
We share that opinion with the characters that are finding it. In a film that's so magical, you think it's going to be this branch off to another like fantastical story, but the fact they bring it in and make it as simple as just someone doing their job, I thought was brilliant.
Because
it's a lovely contrast.
Because we're all strangers until you know us.
Exactly that. Yeah.
There you go.
You got any more likes for me, or?
I could go forever, mate.
Yeah.
She gives everyone closure or comfort.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really give it to herself until much later. She needs to be pushed to find her own happiness. There's so many things I could say about the film. Millions of great points. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, my favourite thing about it kind of mirrors what you've said already, but I just love how quirky it is. It's full to the brim of oddball characters that are all interesting individuals. The film speaks to how we are all unique lead characters in our own stories, but we all fundamentally, we want the same things. Mm-hmm. You know, we all want to be happy. We want our loved ones to be happy. We want good health. We want good health for our loved ones. We want an easy life, a life of fulfillment, like just base level happiness. And I think the film explores that and delivers it so beautifully throughout. It's just, and the personality of the film, the look of the film, just everything works to make it a really unique piece of cinema that I never tire of watching.
I can't believe it was 2001. It does not look 2000. It looks Like, I watched it for the first time ever yesterday.
Yeah.
And it could have been today it was made. Maybe a little bit of the CGI when she imagines friends because she didn't have any friends is a little on the ropey side, but because the surrounding isn't, it works.
It's a timeless film that taps into what makes humanity good. So the only thing that sort of dates the film is the lack of technology in it. Because in the film, Amelie's trying to find this Nino Quincampoix, who's her love interest, and she puts up pictures, and he does the same when he's trying to find her. Nowadays, it would be an app. It would be
Which
Facebook.
would totally lessen the film.
Of course it would. Yeah. But in terms of aging the story, that's the only thing I can see is just it predates the technology we have now. But I think this film, you could watch it when it came out. You can watch it now 20 years later. I firmly believe you watch it another 20 years down the line and it will still be beautiful. Because the world around us can change, but humanity at its core is a beautiful thing. It's an absolute miracle we're all here. So wouldn't it just be nice if we all got along?
Oh, yes. Do you know what as well? I felt really lucky watching it because obviously with narration and subtitles happening at the same time and the screen obviously revealing its story, I felt lucky that I could follow that subtitle, that I could listen and watch and take it in, because I think some people are really going to miss out on one of the best films ever made. Yeah, because especially French language moves quickly. It certainly does. It can be very fast. Yeah, and I was just like, I feel sorry for some people because I'm sitting here totally absorbed by this film, and some people would miss big hits in that film because of the limitation of having to read and watch at the same time.
It is. Yeah, it's a crying shame because some people see it's a foreign film. See that they'd have to either try and source a dubbed version, which I don't think anyone can truly like, or get over their instinct of not being willing to read while they watch. And so many people miss out, and that is sad. Even
dyslexic people, like, that's got to be really annoying. You imagine, like, if you really struggle with words and this is an amazing film and you're a film lover, but you have dyslexia, how hard that could be.
Yeah.
That's shit.
I've got dyslexic friends who won't watch subtitled films for that reason. And there's a world of difference between those people who really struggle to do it and those who are too ignorant and just like, I can't be bothered to read it. It's like if you're lucky enough to be able to read and absorb what's going on as well as seeing on the screen, I think you're missing out if you're not willing to push your boundaries. I also love the fact that the films focus on the likes and dislikes. I loved that sort of dynamic within the film. Really enjoyed the exploration of what makes all of the characters tick and what gives them the ick. The more bizarre, the better. And I also love that the like-dislike revelations mirror the format of this very podcast. Yeah. So I love that. Yeah. I'm not necessarily the best person at meeting new people and small talk. 5 pints, get 5 pints in me, and you wouldn't know that that's a problem. But I would find it so much easier if with any interaction you would just sit opposite a person and go, I'm Adam, these are my likes, these are my dislikes, go. And then that person would go, I'm Bob, these are my likes, these are my dislikes. And then I would love that. It'd be so much simpler for me. And I love that's one part of the film that I've seen the film 4 or 5 times now, and just remembering all the little oddities and the likes and dislikes that they all have. Yeah, I'm here for that. I could watch a whole 2 hours of just watching strangers' likes and dislikes.
I almost started writing them down because I was laughing at them and finding similarities. And I thought, I'm going to be here forever. Yeah. And I'm not going to watch the bloody film if I do that. I just realised something. When I went on a little tangent earlier, I was going to talk about what she does to the greengrocer. And then I got sidetracked by Jamel Debbouze.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I loved what she did with the greengrocer, where because this guy's kind of nasty to his employee, she essentially starts sneaking into his house because they all live in the same building, don't they? And they've all got access to keys. But she goes in his house, messes with his shoes, messes with his light, and it's just brilliant. It's so cool. It's because there's a little bit of, she's almost the justice in it as well. Yeah. So even though she's helping people, she's like, I can't let this guy get away with being a prick. I thought they might have revealed that he was an arsehole because maybe his wife died or something. Yeah, don't go there. He's just an arsehole.
He's just a dickhead. Yeah. And it is the mildest form of justice. But if those things happen to you, it would really fuck your day. It would really fuck you up. And in the film, the things that she does to sort of derail this guy and his schedule, it's simple things like changing the doorknobs round on his bathroom door, changing his alarm to 4 hours earlier, putting foot cream in his toothpaste.
Oh, changing the speed dial from his mum
to
a psychiatric ward.
Basically, you need help, mate. Go and get the help. Yeah,
that was brilliant.
It's the film's full of personality, it's just lovely, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
My final thing I loved about it, and we've touched on it already, it's just warm, whimsical, cute and cuddly. Amelie explores the good in humanity, and for 2 hours I actually like people.
Exactly.
Most of the time I'm an antisocial grumpus, but this film made me feel positive. It's funny food for the soul that is the perfect film to watch with a partner.
Lovely.
I think so. Yeah, I've watched it with my other half. I've watched it on my own. I enjoy both times, but there's something really warming about watching it with the person you love, because the film is an exploration of love and loving people for their faults.
Well, that's the stuff you miss, isn't it? It's the shortcomings and faults when that person's gone or not around.
Or
it's not that they were just stunning. No. It's the fact that they'd sneeze 20 times at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
It's that. It's the fact that they eat chili, they hiccup or something. Yeah. It's like, oh, I missed the hiccup.
Yeah. Love is overlooking those things that in the person that you don't love would drive you up the wall, isn't it?
Could not have put it better myself. Exactement.
Yeah. Are there any elements you didn't like about the film?
None.
None at all?
0.
Wow. That's amazing.
0. I'd be lying to even try and find you one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have 3 because I'm a sucker for the process and for the format. So I'll share you my 3.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's lovely. That's lovely that you couldn't find anything you didn't like about it. We mentioned it earlier. It gave me itchy feet. Amelie made me want to go exploring in Europe. I want to bask in a new culture, discover new places, try new food. Whilst it's a nice form of escape, it did make me want to go away.
So that was your gnome? Like her dad?
Yeah.
She uses her dad's gnome and sends photos of the gnome in Moscow and China and Bangkok to get his itchy feet going, because he never did it when she was young.
I wish I was the gnome.
Yeah.
Right now. I would love for someone to just send me off in a plane. You're going here.
But you kind of are ceramic in that sense, socially.
Thank you.
You are a ceramic.
Yeah. Emotionless gnome.
That's a great dislike. I wish I'd thought of it.
Yeah. But the fact is, it annoyed me because I can't afford to go travelling at the moment, and England is so shit right now. And I would love to hide away in a cool European bar and smoke and drink and eat myself into some form of happiness.
And shout out to a gendarme, Lieutenant Pompon Rouge, no!
Exactly that. Yeah, you read my mind. Another thing I didn't like, again, nitpicking, but the breaking of the fourth wall. The film does a great job of drawing in its audience and making them interested in the nucleus of vibrant characters and all their oddities. Yet Amelie taking the time to speak directly to the camera felt a little out of place for me, and took me away from the quirky world that I was invested in.
I thought that was part of the quirk.
Yeah, it's so mild, man. It's so mild. It's not even worth me bringing up, really. But the few times she does speak to the camera, I'm like, do I really want that here?
Did you feel that way in The Big Short as well?
Yeah, I've got a funny thing with breaking the fourth wall. I think it doesn't work more often than it does for me. I'm watching a film. I'm not watching a documentary. I don't expect them to look at the camera and inform me of what's going on. That's not what I watch films for. But that's just a personal get up of mine. I think the only time I can think where it actually works is Deadpool, because it's so wacky, Deadpool. So bizarre. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, but that is a comic, so you're right. Yeah, the times where I've found it worked, and it wasn't, they weren't talking to the audience, but they're looking directly into the camera, is Jonathan Demme films. So in Silence of the Lambs and Philadelphia Letters, there's a lot of looking into the camera, and the camera is supposed to be the counterpart who they're talking to. Jonathan Demme mastered it very well, but they're not talking to the audience. They're talking to, say, Anthony Hopkins is talking to Jodie Foster. But they're looking directly into camera. That works.
That works. Yeah, slightly different. Yeah, and my final dislike, and I'm really sieving for shit here. Really, it's Amelie and her meddling. Now, hear me out, right?
That's the nucleus of the film, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But hear me out, because I was really stretching at finding dislikes for this one. Okay. So at best, she is an optimistic good doer. At her worst, she is an obsessed sociopath who tries to control the fortunes and lives of complete strangers. Well-intentioned, but still weird. I don't like nosy people, and if I had someone like Amelie getting involved in my business, I wouldn't like it.
She can go truffle hunting in my backyard any day.
That sounds almost sexual.
Well, no. So she might want to help me. I'd let her help me. She can ruin my garden to find my truffles.
If someone said to me, I'm going to help you, I'd be like, fucking thank you, brilliant, fantastic, yes. I'd rather know that they're doing it. If someone's behind the scenes sneaky helping me, I'd be a bit like, what?
It's the packaging though, isn't it? So sometimes it's not the art you're looking at, it's the way it's presented. So her leaving that little boy's, well, he's not a little boy anymore, this toy box from knowing this old man now was a little boy, leaving it in a phone booth and him coming to it in that way allowed him to have his emotional moment without the stranger being present. It was like she gave him that lovely freedom inside a phone booth to express himself at seeing his past and how cruel time and life is. And it's just lovely because they tie that up later, because this character's likes is after carving a chicken, he picks the oysters off the chicken and eats it with his hand. And then later on in the film, much later, they close up his story and he's offering it to the grandson that he's never seen because he fell out of his daughter. It's like great foresight, the way the director's like looking at all these different timelines and ties them up at the end. Love it.
It is beautiful. And again, I'm letting the cynical side in. I'm letting the intrusive
You mean you as a person, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although saying that, if someone behind the scenes did do stuff that improved my life, I wouldn't know until it's happened, so I would be grateful. So I'm pretty much talking shit.
You don't like surprises?
I hate surprises.
Exactly.
I can't deal with them.
Yeah.
I've got some questions. Amelie explores the quips and quirks that make every individual unique. What is a personal, but potentially odd like and dislike that you have that makes you, you?
Oh, gosh, that is hard. I love biting a loaf of bread when it's still in the cellophane.
What?
I love biting a loaf of bread when it's still in its bag. So I bite into the bag.
Into the plastic?
Yeah, this is not a loaf of bread that I would then share with people. So I like getting a brand new loaf of bread and just grabbing it and the whole pack and biting it, because it's got the best groove. It's like,
That is a unique like and oddity, but I do feel like I should call the police.
I dare you to try it. You will love it. There's a sensation. Like, have you ever seen someone like use a knife to like cut through dough? It's really satisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a baker.
Yeah, exactly. So when you go, and you get that perfect cut.
Yeah.
So grab a loaf of bread when it's in its bag and go, like that.
Okay.
It's so satisfying.
Oh, it's nice to know a personal like that you have that I didn't know. Mm. What about things that you don't like? The odder the better.
I don't, and this is kind of cruel, but it doesn't mean to be, but I don't like I don't like people in pubs. Say you're with a friend or a partner or a group of mates and you're drinking and chatting, and there's always this solo dude that's drunk too much and he thinks he can just come in and interrupt your conversation and put himself in front of you all and be like, look at me everyone, look at me, look. Oh, where are you from? Oh, and then he's like, give me your lighter. I can't borrow your lighter. Oh, cheers, mate. Oh, move up. I'll sit with you. I don't know you. I'm trying to have a private conversation. That's a huge dislike. So what would you call them?
Social terrorists.
Intrusive, mouth trespass.
Yeah.
Things.
Mood killers.
People that aren't polite socially because they've had a few bit to drink. They think that their presence is wanted on every table.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
F off.
Yeah.
Go fudge yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree. Do you want to hear a quippy quirk, like and dislike of mine?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so a huge like of mine is if I'm out and about and I see a dog waiting outside a shop, and then their excitement when they see their owner come out the shop. It's just unparalleled love.
That's a like.
Yeah, love it. Like I if I see a dog outside, I will slow down my walk so I can see the reunion after 5 minutes of their owner going into the shop and picking up some bits. That pure excitement, they react like their owner's been away for 5 years and it's been 5 minutes. That pure bundle of joy and happiness that they're seeing a person they love and they can't handle it.
Very Amelie.
Yeah, isn't it? I love that. I always loved that. When I had a dog and I worked nights, I used to get excited for the walk home because I knew when everyone else was asleep, I'd open that door and my dog would see me and she'd be buzzing and I'd be buzzing, and it was just a real vibe and I'm here for it.
Oh, that's cool you said that, because when I did nights, I used to go home to a puppy, Jack Russell. Yeah. And my parents would be out working and I'd sit with this puppy, Jack Russell, and I got to have him all on my own every morning. It was amazing, man. And then he bit my dad, and they put him down.
Oh, that's sad. Well, that's a dislike. A quippy quirk dislike that I have is cotton wool.
In your mouth.
My velvet. Especially in my mouth. But even touching it, that noise, if you rub cotton wool, it's...
Oh, yeah, like a fork on a saucepan. I hate velvet. Velvet on my teeth makes me talk like I don't have a tongue.
I can't deal with touching cotton wool, but if I'm ever presented with a bit of cotton wool, I can't help but put it in my mouth, even though it makes my skin crawl and makes me feel sick and want to tear out my own eyes. I can't. I'm looking at this cotton wool and I'm always going, no.
You ever been on? Have you ever been on a ferry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever looked over the edge and thought, just throw my wallet in the ocean? Just do it. Throw my brand new trainers in the ocean. Do it.
No.
There's we back to the bread.
Carry on.
Like, it's just that weird instinct. It's like, God, could you imagine if you just threw something off this bridge?
Yeah.
Push someone down the stairs.
I want to see the world burn. It's getting a bit dark in here. Yeah. Should I ask another question?
Yeah, if you've got one.
I think it's fair that you and I are realists with a double shot of pessimism. Does a film as warming and whimsical as Amelie make you feel more positive about our world and all the good it has to offer?
Yeah, man. It's a bunker buster bomb that found its way all through the deep shit dark hell above me and found my heart again, relit it on fire. My heart flew up, floated to the ceiling, burst through the crust of the earth that has now been scorched by an Armageddon, and now floats off into the stars, and I can see my own heart in the stars.
That's amazing. I'd love to see that on the poster of Amelie as a quote of why you would recommend this film. That's lovely, man. I consider Amelie to be the perfect film to watch with your significant other. Do you agree? And if you don't, what do you consider to be the perfect movie for a cozy night in?
Well, I watched it with an icy cold glass of Amarula, which is a South African sort of Baileys made from a fruit called Amarula, which grows on these trees in Africa, and elephants can smell it for miles. There's some in the fridge. Try some. Yeah. It's so good. I had a cold glass of that. I was in a beanbag watching a movie, all the lights out, and my little vape, which I pretend is like a Gandalf pipe, and I didn't need a partner. Not at all.
Would you like to watch it with your
partner? Oh, yeah. I'd love to, yeah.
And it's definitely got the rewatchability factor, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because it picks up your mood so much that it's like you say, it's putting on a comfortable pair of slippers. It's like a cup of hot chocolate. And if you or your partner are going through any sort of struggle, whether it's mild or major, I think this is a perfect film to let you escape from that and just really,
put your phones in the fridge.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Or throw them off the side of a ferry.
Just get rid of them. Throw them off a ferry.
Yeah. So what would you rate Amelie out of 10?
10.
10? Wow.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Give me some reasons. Perfect film.
I've given you everything. I could possibly give you. Like I said, I think it's one of the greatest films ever made. It's a study into the human condition and all the little oddities that make each and every one of us individuals.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I've gone slightly lower because, of course, I have.
4.5?
8.5. And it's a lovely film. It's warm. It's all of those good things that you say. I don't really know why I don't go a 10. I'm just reluctant to go full 10s on films.
What would have brought it up to, say, 9 for you, or 9.5? What would have done it?
I don't even know the answer to that question.
Someone's head coming off?
A little bit of, yeah. If she turned out to be a bit of a genuine psychopath or sociopath, I think that may have boosted it up. Or, I don't know, as lovely as this film is, if it ended on a sour note, me being who I am, slightly cynical, I'd probably be like, yeah, good. But that says more about me than the film.
You want to watch the world burn.
I do, yeah. So that gives Amelie a total score of 18.5 out of 20.
Very good.
Very, very good. So if you like your films charming, funny and full of the good feels, or if you like your lead character to be cute and well-intentioned with a mild hint of sociopathy, then Amelie could be the film for you.
She is beautiful.
She is. Consider watching this one if you enjoyed Mary and Max, The Grand Budapest Hotel and Big Fish. Should we play a game?
Yes.
The game in question is What the Plot, where the rules are simple and the results quite the opposite. Harry will conceive an original idea from his big and beautiful brain and give birth to a plot. It's then down to me to nurture this thought by providing a film title, genre, cast, and anything else I can think of to raise this brainchild into a fully functioning film concept. Over to you, Harry.
New York City, modern times. We follow our protagonist, which is a homeless woman in about 25 years of age. She's pretty, but she's also she's rough. Obviously, she's been homeless for years. She's
How old are we talking?
25.
25.
Yeah, between 25 and 30. She's begging in the fashion district in the evening, and it's cold, and essentially she witnesses a truck hijacking, and it's full of designer dresses and designer makeup, and she witnesses it, and as it takes a fast turn, it drops a few boxes out the back of the truck. Now she goes over, shivering, cold air coming out her mouth, got some rags on her, she's all dirty and stuff, and she grabs as many boxes as she can, and she runs off into a public toilet in a train station. She opens the boxes, it's full of the world's most expensive dresses, makeup, and in that moment she decides to transform herself and to try and turn herself into the most attractive lure in fishing. So she cleans herself up in the public dressing room, puts the makeup on, puts on the dress, puts on the heels, and she waits till morning, and then she wanders the streets of Fifth Avenue and Wall Street, and essentially tries to integrate herself into the high society of New York just by putting on this dress, putting on these shoes, and she tries to lure in, your dirty old power pervs of a bygone era in Wall Street, and they start to give her the currency that she requires to turn her life around. They buy her jewelry, they take her out on dates, and she starts to sell the jewelry, starts to buy herself an apartment, and it all came from watching a robbery, but she was homeless for years.
So she's effectively becomes a con woman because she's of no wealth, of no high societal standing, but because of the way she's got the way she dresses and the way she looks.
I'd say opportunist. Yeah, but she had to. I'd say, like, where was she go? Where could she have gone from there? So I think she's taken the opportunity to change her fortunes, and it's only because, say, that these big Wall Streeters and stuff are thinking with their dicks. Let's say like a Trump sort of dude, and he'll lather her with jewelry like Henry VIII did with, like Anne Boleyn and stuff, because he just wants to get laid, and she uses it to that effect. She's clever. A clever opportunist, changes her fortunes.
Okay, you got anything else to help me flesh this one out?
No, man. I think that's quite solid.
Okay, so the story is basically someone changing their fortunes.
It's a Phoenix
film,
isn't it?
Turning around their circumstances and being opportunistic, using what she's found to improve her life and everything like that.
Well, the dress and the shoes and the makeup was the difference between someone not giving her $1 while she's begging on the street, starving and poor, to someone saying, well, hey, what are you doing here, missy? Let's go for a date. I'll take you out. And she plays it so well that she ends up getting jewellery, money. She's just clever. But she never gives away the goods. She never gives the goods.
So
she always gets out well before they get laid.
Okay. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah, you do.
It's got my senses tingling. So in summary, we're in New York, modern day, homeless woman between the ages of 25 and 30, begging in the fashion district.
Yeah.
There's a truck that goes by to deliver to one of these high-end fashion stores.
Yeah.
And what crashes or
No, gets hijacked.
Gets hijacked.
Yeah, mafia used to hijack trucks.
Okay. And they spill some goods which she is able to get her hands on.
Mm-hmm.
She grabs boxes, finds the world's most expensive clothes, makeup, jewelry, etc., and has like an epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
She's going, instead of sitting on the streets begging for money, she's going to use her youth, her good looks, and combine them with these
new attire.
This new attire that screams privilege. So to look at her, you would think she's got all the money in the world. And through that, she embarks on a journey. And if you look a certain way, people are going to be more willing to give up. Like if she's a very young, beautiful woman in all these clothes, she's going to turn heads. She can start using people to get some food, some drink. Maybe she lodges with some of them and uses and moves on just to get up in the world.
Yeah.
So I see this as maybe having a little bit of twist in it. Maybe she's been on the streets for so long and she's been treated so badly. Maybe she uses this opportunity to get some vengeance, some retribution, and she's sort of taking it out on the maybe father figures, because she had a disjointed relationship with her own father. So I could see this on the surface.
Trumpy looking dude.
Oh yeah, on the surface it could be quite a it's like a rags to riches phoenix tale, but I'd like it to be a bit darker, a bit deeper, and maybe she sort of starts using this newfound power to seek vengeance and find some sort of retribution. And maybe
What type of vengeance are we talking? Amelie vengeance or Kill Bill vengeance?
somewhere in between.
No.
Yeah.
That's taking the plot too beyond what I
Yeah, but
pitched.
to be able to put it in the packaging that I see, it needs to get a little bit misty, a little bit darker. A little bit darker.
You go.
So it's a nice story, really, but there's a few side
Stabbings.
ingredients. Yeah, a few friendly stabbings that aren't fatal, but she looks good doing it. Little stabs here and there. So in the lead role, I'd have Shailene Woodley.
Beautiful, brilliant actor.
Very, very talented actor. She took a few years out of acting, so I could imagine a film like this that would really sort of pique her interest, get her in a really meaty role, and I could see her really excelling in this, going from sort of victim to maybe almost a villain sort of vibe. So I'd see it. Yeah, this would be a drama / maybe dark comedy / thriller, vengeance at its core, but nothing too crazy. Not horrible, bloody murder, nasty stuff like that. Director, I would see Julia Ducournau. I apologise if I've said that wrong.
Julia Ducournau, I don't know what she's done.
Yeah, she's directed Raw and Titane, which are these French...
Titane, she make love to car?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Objectum sexual?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's this unsettling, dark film. But I think with this storyline, if it was to explore the darker side and her using these newfound powers, so to speak, to benefit her and improve her life, you could make it quite a dark film.
That's great. In Titane, is the protagonist female lead?
Yes. So is Raw.
And to be honest, she is homeless. So I think you're right. It could be very stark and grim to begin with.
Yeah.
You get excited at her coming up through the social chain.
Exactly, yeah.
But then, like you said, maybe that turns a little...
Yeah, and she starts off with just using these clothes and the attire and how she looks to get a free meal, to maybe get a couple of drinks, to get a shelter for the night, and she uses it even further. She starts asking for large amounts of money.
Well, it's the polar opposites of charity, isn't it? So if you're homeless, scrappy on the street, people sometimes won't even give you a penny because they think drugs, drink, they're not going to use it. And the other polar opposite of that charity is the guy's giving her jewels and that to sleep with her.
Exactly that, yeah.
Very weird.
So it could be... I see it being an element of darkness in there. And I would call the film Dressed to Impress. I never thought my life would end up this way. Can you spare some change, please, sir?
Fuck off, loser!
All I needed was a break. All I wanted was a chance. I got both.
I'll buy you a drink, sweetheart?
You don't remember me, do you? It's funny how new clothes and some makeup makes me visible again. Why would you think of me if I didn't look like this?
Listen, sugar, if you've got an ass like that, I don't give a fuck.
I've come from bottom of the pile to top of the shopping list. But now, I don't ask. I take.
Shailene Woodley stars in Dress to Impress.